Hey everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Show. I'm Brian.
And I'm Ben.
Ben, we are finishing our coverage of Season 4 of Rick and Morty with the episode Mort Rickturn of the Jerri. What did you think of this episode, and what did you think of that title, first of all?
I mean, it's appropriate. We're doing some Star Wars shit, right? So.
Yep. Much to the dismay of Rick, we're doing some Star Wars shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a ride of an episode. There's a lot to dissect here. A lot of things going on. A lot of previous arcs kind of coming back and being resolved in multiple places. So yeah, well, I mean, what was your first takeaway after the episode came to a close?
I thought it was a really great episode, personally. Second week in a row where we see Rick just kind of get his ass fucking kicked. I mean, he got disemboweled in this episode, so Jesus Christ. But
yeah, physically and emotionally.
Very true. And I honestly never thought we would get a payoff to the Beth situation. That was last season.
We got it. Yeah, that was the end of season 3.
Yeah, I honestly I thought this was just going to be a question out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, there's kind of an open question at the end of season 3 about whether Beth was a clone or whether Rick had or was going to clone Beth. That just kind of hung in the air and then was completely ignored for the first 9 episodes of this season. And then we also had the return of Tammy and Bird/Phoenix Person, which is another.
I did not think we'd ever see Bird Person because he died, right?
Yeah, I mean that was obviously a kind of a Vader-esque resurrection of him. Yeah, it's kind of like an android version, or some kind of hybrid of his corpse and some, as Rick put it, totally whipped robot. Yep.
Yeah, so lots to break down here. I guess we can start off at the beginning where, it's very Star Wars-esque. There some figures running from, soldiers chasing them, and one of them takes their helmets off, and it's Beth. So at this point, were you thinking that we were seeing the clone Beth, or were you thinking this is like a time jump? Where was your mind at?
I initially thought that it was a time jump right from the start. But
same here.
Quickly, I had kind of surmised, especially when we get the doctor scene right after, that we were going to be exploring the clone Beth storyline, where the Space Beth, I guess, because we don't really know which one is really the clone. Right. Space Beth is talking to the doctor and kind of realizes that Rick has cloned her, and either she is the clone or I think she knew that she was a clone, right? But she figured that the clone, or she knew that Beth was cloned, but she was under the impression that she was the original. And she found the device in her neck and assumed that it was a bomb and that she was actually the clone, and that Rick had, set it to detonate if he ever found out.
Very Westworld with the bomb implant in the neck. Yeah, shout out to one of our favorite shows out there. So yeah, Beth finds this out and she's going back to Earth because she's pissed at Rick, as understandably, if you found out that you were a clone, or after thinking that you weren't a clone, it'd be pretty out there.
Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't be too happy if I found out that I was likely a clone and I had a bomb planted in my neck. That would probably, cross some kind of line for me.
Yeah, definitely. She certainly is betrayed by her father. So back on Earth, speaking of things I never thought we'd see again, the therapist Dr. Wong is back. Ben, didn't you think that was just a one-off for the Pickle Rick episode?
I mean, I didn't explicitly, compartmentalize that as being it being a one-off. Like I said, it didn't super surprise me that her character returned. I think they're, like I was much more surprised to see Tammy and Bird Person back than the therapist. And that was probably one of my favorite scenes of the episode. Was the scene in the therapist's office when Rick ends up bursting in with the aliens and all that, which we can talk about after.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, if we get the setup at the dinner table or the breakfast table where Jerri is making a sock puppet to be able to talk about his feelings more appropriately, and Rick is using an invisibility belt to try and dodge having to go to therapy.
Right. So, man, I want to pitch you an idea of this. Is this Dan Harmon taking another shot at Community season 4, seeing as they did a puppet therapy episode?
Maybe a little bit, but I think that it was kind of more maybe satirizing like the Hollywood portrayal of therapy or family therapy in general,
right,
where it like kind of like fluffs it up a little bit to make like cutesy television.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, Jerri's very invested in this. No one else is, of course. Rick doesn't want to go to therapy. Last time he turned himself into a pickle. This time he just tried to make himself invisible, which seems like less work, And, it all just kind of worked out for him because Summer and Morty ended up fighting over the invisibility belt for the same reasons. They both wanted to creep on people they found attractive, which,
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty classic. They just both wanted to be huge pervs. So. Yep. Can't really blame him for that.
Right. So, with that, Rick kind of gets out of going to therapy, goes into the garage, and meets his potentially cloned daughter, potentially not. He thought she'd never come back. They have like a fun little fight where they just keep countering one another with everything they do.
Yeah, a little Pokeball fight in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was fun. Bloody, but fun.
I wasn't aware that like Rick invented Pokemon, but that's pretty cool.
I mean, when you can invent anything, I mean, why not, right?
I mean, that's true. Yeah, that was a good fight, and Beth ends up getting the best of him and holding him at laser point to have him explain why he theoretically lied to her about being a clone and implanted a bomb in her neck.
Yeah, so I liked that scene just because. He's kind of being very Rick about it, saying that, like, oh, did everyone you looked at it thought it was a bomb? I think his line is, yeah, and every caveman who saw a microwave would think it's a rock cabinet. When you're an inventor, you invent things. So yeah, his defense is that it was a thing that would transfer all the clone Beth memories into the original Beth from what she missed on Earth before vaporizing her.
Yeah. To be fair, again, there was a parallel version. Like, even if Rick is telling the truth, there's still a parallel version in what would have been the clone Beth that was essentially a bomb. So
yeah,
it's still a 50-50.
Right.
He can't be that like self-righteous about her thinking it was a bomb when there's a 50-50 chance it was a bomb.
Mm-hmm. No, I just can't be. I agree with Beth. I understand. I also would have thought it was a bomb. So, oh man. So yeah, Jerri and Beth go to therapy. There's some fun scenes of Summer and Morty perving out and thwarting one another. And Rick convinces Beth that she's the real Beth, Space Beth, that she's the real Beth, and they go to get a drink and tell stories about the escapade she's been on. The Star Wars adventures, if you will.
Yeah, and Rick has a profound line about how you can't like not trying to stop the people taking over the galaxy because everybody's trying to take over the galaxy. You just kind of want to be on the good sides of the people who end up succeeding.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst way to
Yeah,
live, I guess, but it does show that Rick's kind of, I wouldn't say gone soft, but he doesn't believe in anything, Ben.
I mean, he's like pretty openly been like nihilistic and jaded for the entire run of the show.
Right.
Partially as a result of like having essentially infinite knowledge of the universe and knowledge of like multiple dimensions to the point where it's like fed him on this like self induced like depression cycle where he just falls in this pit of nihilism because of it.
And he's also pretty much circumnavigated death, as we saw earlier in this season, to where if he dies, he can just be regenerated by Morty. So, I mean, at that point, when there's no risk of consequences, what's the motivation?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the lesson that he taught Morty in the that. Well, that's if you want to be very generous, that's the lesson that he pretended to teach Morty in the vat of acid episode.
Right. That he pretended, yeah.
with the real message being that not to talk back.
Man. So yeah, Beth doesn't appreciate his dismissal of her as having a hero complex.
Yeah, and she especially does not stand for him having kind of a slip of the tongue and calling the other Beth the real Beth.
That was great. So yeah, she gets followed by the new Federation because Rick killed the old Federation. And and she gets followed by them to Earth. He's like, oh no, they're gonna kill Beth. Then she's like, clone Beth, right? And he's like, yes, clone Beth. And then they get into a very Han Greedo standoff shot. I think it was pretty much the same exact thing where Beth shoots, misses, and Rick shoots in the new version of Star Wars, where Greedo shoots first.
I mean, you're gonna get a lot of people real mad here.
I'm just that's the official canon at the moment, but we know it was originally out there.
All right. I'm not gonna take a firm stance here because no matter what I say, I'm gonna have people coming after me. The people are gonna be disliking the video no matter what I say. So
right. Oh man, so yeah, Beth is pissed, but she gets frozen. Rick goes to the therapist's office, and you said this is your favorite scene, so do you want to break it down a little bit?
Yeah, I think just the whole thing of Rick coming in and telling his computers to protect all of the humans, including the therapist. And then breaking in and just the aliens and their like interaction with Jerri and how Jerri is just so like
weak and pathetic,
like so worthless.
Yeah,
pathetic. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm just a guy who says hey. Keep in me. All I can do is say hey.
Oh man, it's so good. I can't
do anything beyond that.
Yeah, and Tammy, the reappearance of Tammy, did not expect this at all. This is a whole episode of just returning characters that I thought I didn't really think too much about, to be honest.
Yeah, no, a lot of storylines that we had just assumed were long dead, and that we kind of were just gonna forget about and move on from, all coming back together.
Oh man, so yeah, she comes in, she beats up Beth a little bit. She's very confused, shows her that she's the leader of her resistance. And Beth realizes that she is a clone. Or at least so she thinks.
Yeah, well, I've heard that excuse before.
Right? Yeah, I was like, that's really what you're going with?
Yeah.
Clone. Oh, man. But yeah, so Rick comes in, saves them. I did enjoy the part where he kills all the aliens, but obviously not Tammy because she's a human. And he's like, "Hey, this is like where my family comes for therapy or whatever." She's like, "What's so that's sacred?" She's like, "No, I just have a lot of like voice activating escape things." Oh man! And one of them was like, "That's a really good point. I'm gonna think about it." Something ridiculous, and it's literally a flamethrower onto the therapist's chair, which burns Tammy, and they are able to knock her out. The therapist is like, "I would like to talk about that." Oh man! So yeah, they get Jerri and Beth, but not the therapist, because
Yep.
not the whole world.
Yeah. I said everybody. I mean, everybody in my family, not everybody in the world.
Oh man! So they're flying away. I don't want to say evil Beth. Space Beth sees them, as well as the aliens. And they get crashed. And I think at one point they're like, Jerri, do something. You just like, hey, just like in the background as they crash, which is great. So yeah, Beth realizes that, or rather confronts herself. They kind of have like an almost flirt moment with themselves, which is fun.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Tammy comes and just like beams them up to the ship, and it's like, wow, there really are two of them. It's surprising, obviously. And Rick,
And then we get the showdown.
Yeah, the showdown. Well, almost. Morty and Summer come in and save the day with their invisibility, and this might be the funniest joke in Rick and Morty when Summer disarms one of the aliens and gets the gun to Jerri. And Jerri picks up the gun, and Rick goes, "Everybody put down your guns, not Jerri. Jesus." Classic. As Jerri drops his gun. Dude, I laughed so hard at that line. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was good. I just like how Rick immediately knew something mattered.
Oh man, but luckily Morty's there to shoot all the other aliens and disarm everybody, and that's their arc.
I mean, I also did like the scene that we kind of skipped over, how they were able to commandeer that ship to begin with.
Oh yeah,
comes up on Morty, and it's like, Morty Smith, you're coming with us. You're under arrest. And Summer's just like holding up the fire extinguisher. Yeah. Like, holy shit, are you psychic? you explode our hearts? Yes. Oh, we surrender.
Yeah. Like, we just watch your mom. Which, reasonable, honestly. I don't want a psychic exploding my heart.
Yeah, that's probably the worst way to go.
Yeah, just, if we take the ship, I'm not that invested.
Yeah, they don't pay him enough for that.
Right. And with how much all the rest of them die, it's understandable.
I mean, to get shot in battle, that's like one thing. That's like a hero's death. To have a teenager explode your heart psychically, that's a really shitty way to go.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Oh, man. So, yeah, that's how they got the ship. I forgot about that, but good bringing that up. They're able to fight Tammy, and Rick shoots her right in the fucking head, which I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, just like halfway through the episode, we're going to kill off what was assumed to be the primary antagonist. That's what you get for making Rick come to a wedding.
Yeah, that was a good line. Oh, and for killing my friend. I should have said that.
I should have said that first, yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, they have to do a Star Wars shit. But before that, Tammy lets Rick know that the new Federation doesn't give a shit about him. Because they know if they leave him alone.
Another kind of great meta commentary on like how like destructive Rick is as like a person and a character, that it's actually more productive to just like leave Rick alone and he'll fuck shit up himself.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, it's reasonable. I'm surprised it took an entire second Federation for them to realize that.
So yeah, they go to do Star Wars. They're blockaded off. Rick's pretty mad that he's not a threat, and so he just portal murders everybody in their ships. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, cool little tech.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. You got a lot of the portal in this episode, which I like. Once they get on, Jerri has to pee. He can't do it with people watching.
I liked when he was trying to land in, and the aliens in the ship were like, or the main guy was like, "Hold your fire, we'll die as heroes."
Yeah, he just gets squashed. Oh man, but yeah, so they have to open the retina display or retina scanner rather with Tammy's dead body, which Summer seems not that torn up about.
I mean, I think at the point where your friend from high school is revealed to be a intergalactic federal agent working for an evil organization.
Yeah.
You kind of have to cut ties at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
That's probably when you pull out the unfriend on Facebook.
Absolutely. And yeah, so they do that. They give the belt to Jerri so he can pee, but he's still a shy peer even though he's invisible. And then when everyone leaves, because Morty and Summer figure they don't even need the belt because they have each other, he pees directly on Tammy's body. It's kind of messed up.
I mean, whatever works, right?
True. So yeah, Rick has a very epic, gory showdown with bird/phoenix person.
Yeah. He's not BP anymore. Now he's PP.
Yeah, he's PP. He rose from the ashes of his former death. And yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, this fight is very gory.
Yeah, I mean, Bird Person is essentially like RoboCop times 5,000 with the insane amount of weaponry and mechanism that he has at his disposal to just annihilate Rick piece by piece.
I did enjoy the line when Rick was like, "I always wondered which one of us would win in a fight." He's like, "Then you're always a bad friend." Oh man. Well, yeah, so Rick gets disemboweled during this fight. Pretty gross. But the Beths work together to escape and decide that they want to kill Beth. Kill Beth. Decided they want to kill Rick together. And on the other storyline, we have Morty and Summers working together to outfox all the bugs guarding the laser by using regular genes. Brett Favre would be proud of this episode, I feel.
I mean, would he? Because they were a sponsor of intergalactic terrorism, right?
That's true. But yeah, so the sponsor of the laser company, so they have it programmed where they can't destroy the Wranglers. Luckily, Morty happens to wear Wranglers, and he distracts the aliens. Summer puts the pants into the laser. The laser stops shooting on Earth, and Morty kills the aliens off screen somehow.
And we get a little bit of a fourth wall break like we classically do in Rick and Morty, where Morty explicitly says that he killed them off screen.
So good. Oh, and then Summer says, "Okay, Grismore, I can see your balls. That's on you."
Yeah, we see that Morty is a tidy whities guy, a briefs guy, not a boxers guy. So
yep,
it's a good part of his character arc, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so they go back in. Beth's fight Phoenix Person, God,
PP.
PP said it wrong so much.
I mean, Phoenix Person's a real bad name,
mm-hmm.
which everybody except for him seems to acknowledge. So.
And they aren't able to beat him. The only thing that stops them is Jerri using Tammy as a puppet to distract him.
Yeah, he truly gets the best arc
Mm-hmm.
where he saves the day with puppetry.
Yeah. So very surprising, but you know what? Happy to see it. Happy to see all the Smiths working together.
Yeah, it's probably the first time Jerry's ever did anything, not just in the episodes, but probably in his life. So that's great.
Right. So yeah, they're able to turn Phoenix Person off. Jesus Christ, PP off, and that's it. They've saved the day, and they can go back to Earth. And now they have two mums.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, sweet. Do you think that this is going to be a thing now?
I mean, I guess we'll see. I think it's probably 50-50, honestly, with the way they like to keep/ignore plot points.
Yep.
But yeah, it certainly seemed like they were implying that there's just going to be two Beths from now on, or at least within the near future of the episodes, until that's resolved in some other way potentially.
Honestly, I kind of like this. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, they have distinct personality types. They're kind of like two different parts of Rick's personality,
right?
Where Space Beth is like the adventuring, kind of psychotic fighting version of Rick, and the other Beth is like the alcoholic, nihilistic homebody version.
Yeah, and together, they've really taken over the house, and Rick is not needed anymore, it seems.
Yeah, everyone else seems pretty happy and content with it.
Yep.
Morty's like, I got two badass moms, and Jerri somehow comes out of this with two wives.
So ridiculous.
It was a bizarre turn of events.
Yeah, so I thought we were going to get to see which one was the real one, but no, the show wants that to just be a mystery.
I mean, I think that's probably for the best, based off what they seem to want to do with the storyline going forward. Right. To not have one Beth be emotionally superior over the other in the eyes of any of the characters or the audience. We see that Rick has removed the memory of himself cloning Beth, put it in a Morty's mind blower thing, and it turns out that even within that memory, he played the 3-card Monty with the device to avoid, even within the memory, knowing which Beth was which. So there's 2 levels of removing memory from his knowledge.
And they cut away so you can have a theorist person break it down frame by frame. Who knows how many more times it rotated.
Right, yeah, it kind of cut to just Rick's face and then cut to the outside of the memory. So, if I'm sure if there was a way to figure it out, then Rick would have figured it out, right? So,
right. Although I 100% guarantee Matt Pat will do an episode on this. Just you wait, everyone. Calling Matt Pat out.
Where do you have are you planting your flag in any one direction or the other?
No, I like how the show handled it. I don't care. I like that there's 2 Beths. I kind of want this to be just the status quo going forward.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you?
I think there's just even there's enough evidence to support it either way, in my opinion. And I don't think that there's the show is deliberately not telling us. I think that's it's probably the right way to proceed, is just it's not important.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. And so he's also keeping Phoenix Person strapped up to the wall in the garage. He's not happy about it at all.
Yeah, and Rick's a good friend.
Yeah. So Rick's pretty lonely by the end of this episode. What do you think of that, leaving Rick out? Was it season 2 where he got rid of Jerri and he was saying that he was like in charge of everything?
I believe so, yeah, because then we
Yeah.
open up on season 3 with the like fake Shoney's simulation and all
Yeah.
that.
So he couldn't be further away from that at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he's basically throughout the season just kind of like piece by piece lost control of his position within the family, of his like mental like strength and emotional fortitude, and at this point he's basically just like a mess and a hulk and like a husk of himself.
Yeah. Kind of sad. But hey, at least we got a new franchise coming out. Did you watch this after credit scene?
Well, I mean, it didn't last very long, yeah, until Jerry ran out of gas. But yeah, but Jerry in the invisible garbage truck.
Yeah, he kills a pimp, and
Mhm.
he accidentally kills a jerk driving a sports car, and that's
I
really
mean,
it. Yeah.
you try to stop him. I mean, I feel like if I saw something like that going on, I'd probably stop, right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe
Pull
not.
over.
I don't know.
I'm like, wait, what? Okay, I guess I'll just drive around. That doesn't really make sense, but I don't want to risk it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd at least like do like a very slow, like 2-3 mile an hour bump into the back of it.
Yeah.
At worst I'll get a fender bender.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, that's that. He runs out of fuel. They had a good run. That's it, and that is the end of season 4.
Yeah.
Ben, what do you think overall?
Overall for the episode or the season?
2 episode and then season.
I mean, I thought the episode was great. I thought it was a good, very solid season finale. Tied a lot of the like major themes of the season together, and I think I was glad that we had some sort of continuity from past seasons that was addressed, and kind of a setup for potential future continuity opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the season, I think that it's pretty solid overall. I think there were maybe 2 weekish episodes, but as far as like a 10-episode season goes, that's pretty strong.
Right.
I liked the like overall like macro decision making for the season a lot better than season 3, even though season 3 has a couple of my favorite episodes in the whole show. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked this quite a bit. I'm really sad it's over because it was a really nice distraction from the end of the world that seems to be happening, or the end of America at least. In real life.
I mean, certainly it was one of the last distractions. I'm going to have to find some new TV show to watch probably. Yeah.
So, yeah, when Rick and Morty comes back, whenever that is, we have no idea. We'll be here to cover it. Ben, where can they find you online?
You can find me on social media at Ben Sharon. And I'll be covering, if any reality TV shows pop up, which seems not super likely. Actually, Big Brother Australia is starting.
Oh, it's happening?
I think next week.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it was pre-filmed. It's not live.
Oh,
it filmed
that's
last year.
Really lucky for them.
So there's no live feeds.
Yeah, that kind of sucks because that's like the whole point of Big Brother. But
yeah,
okay.
But it's the NA format except for the end, where the winner will be determined by an audience vote instead of a jury vote. But otherwise, I believe it's at least sort of like the NA format. Which is kind of a strange hybrid. And it's also strange that it filmed like 9 months ago and there's no winner.
Right, yeah. No one can spoil it. That was the thing.
Well, I mean, you can spoil everything other than who ends up winning out of the finale.
Yeah, but we don't know.
True. There you go. So yeah, I might check that out if it's good.
Maybe we'll cover that. That'd be fun if we can find an easy way to watch it. I guess we have to get a ad with a VPN. Who wants to sponsor this?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone out there? Oh,
Yeah.
man. All right. Well, until Big Brother Australia comes back, we'll be talking about a lot of other stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And we had a great interview that's coming out tomorrow or the same day, depending on when you listen to this, with a industry insider of like the podcasting and entertainment industry to break down the Call Her Daddy situation and what's going on with Barstool for Better Radio. I don't want to call it the best episode, but it might have been the second best episode behind Ben's and
Yeah, of
Dylan's
course.
like double feature. That was pretty great.
Yeah,
Nothing can really top that. But
that was pretty good.
yeah, so it is a really good episode. I think people will like it. It certainly answered a lot of the questions I had surrounding that and surrounding like the podcast industry as a whole, like the people who actually make money to do this, which was good. And I hope you enjoy it. So you can find that, of course, on this channel, Wicked Good Podcasts. You can subscribe to the main channel at youtube.com/wickedeverything. You can find me on Twitter at the fake BMAR, that's BMARR. You can find the channel on Twitter at WG Everything, on Instagram at Wicked Good Everything, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Everything. Oh yes, we're also on TikTok. Haven't made a TikTok in a while. I've been a little busy, but hopefully we'll be getting back to that soon when I'm capable of finding humor in the world again.
Yeah, I mean, dark comedy is a thing, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true. But Ben, it's getting bad out there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We shall.
We'll see.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you in the next one.